Today's indie game is all about beer.
I need a pilsner, oh, it all just makes me sad. I need a pilsner, pilsner. Jude, where's my beer? Jude, where's my beer? Jude, where's my beer? Jude, where's my beer?
This was an excerpt of Dude, Where's My Beer, the very first game of Arik Zurabian, an indie dev from Norway. Now there's a second beer game coming up. Hello Arik, how are you doing?
Hello, Sarah. I'm good. Thank you for the invitation.
I have a very important question at first. What's your favorite beer?
I have so many favorites. There is this beer called Proper Job, one of the first craft beers I ever tried back in the day, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so you're totally into craft beer then?
Yeah, even though a lot of people think I'm not, because I made this game about people who don't, about the guy who doesn't like it, but it's actually inspired by some of my friends who are like that. Like they don't understand why people actually buy craft beer in the first place, or what's the deal with it, or why paying more money, something that is not, something new, very conservative.
Your second beer game is apparently coming up. That's what I've read on Steam and Kickstarter. It's called Dude, Where's My Beer 2, A New Hop. Supposed to be an old school satiric point-and-click adventure again, right?
Correct. It's basically the sequel to the first game. It's the story continues.
I've read that development is starting soon. How soon?
It depends on how many followers we get on the pre-launch campaign we are having. So it increases a little bit every day, and now we need to have some kind of boost on it, And then when we are satisfied with the number of followers, we can run the campaign.
So there's no specific date yet when that will start?
No, unfortunately, not now.
The second game, will it then also be taking place in Oslo?
Yes, it's gonna be to make a smooth transition to the second part. We even use some of the backgrounds, some of the scenes, and then we're introducing a brand new part of Oslo with new streets, new bars, parks and stuff. But mostly it's gonna be in Oslo and maybe under the ground as well. I don't know.
Is there maybe a specific scene from the upcoming game in your head you maybe want to describe and share? Maybe something you currently are working on already?
Without spoiling too much, I can say that a big part in the second game would be a beer brewing. So actually it's a process of brewing beer. So if some of the players have experience with brewing beer at home, it's going to be easier for them.
Why did you actually choose old school point and click for your games?
I've always been a fan of old school games like which Sierra and LucasArts made. I was a huge fan of Police Quest series and Space Quest, also Sam & Max, Day of the Tentacle, and of course Monkey Island. And I remember I was so frustrated when I was not managing to solve puzzles, and I was spending days or weeks, and then without internet, and my English skills were so bad. I was using the dictionary all the time.
Cool.
And I couldn't think of other stuff than these puzzles.
Yeah, it's so funny because also my open indie partner here, Eve, he also learned English through the games in the 90s. So he also couldn't speak any English, but yeah, he somehow knew what was going on. And I don't think if he used a dictionary, but yeah, that's how he learned English. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's I feel it's easier to learn English by combining all the verbs.
In your first game, you worked together with another animator from Costa Rica, right?
Correct.
How did you know each other?
I lived in Costa Rica for a while, and then that's where I started making the game. And at some point, I decided to hire a professional illustrator because my design skills are not so good. So somebody recommended me to contact Edu Brenes, and he was like, "Oh, I love point and click games. I will help you." So I decided to make the game more professional or ambitious than was planned in the beginning. So he helped a lot with bringing the game to the next level. So without him, I think it would be even smaller. I was very happy that he helped, and his unique drawing style made the game pop up. I'm very happy that Edo is going to be a part of the next project as well.
Ah, cool. Okay, that's what I wanted to ask too. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, your first game was quite successful, right?
I would say so, but just because I didn't have any expectations. I'm surprised on how many people actually liked it and left positive reviews and are actually looking forward to the sequel.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
I've played the first game for a little while. I'm not through yet, but I'm getting there. And at some parts, there's like this 90s soundtrack.
A good friend of mine, David Børke from Oslo, he helped me with the music. I challenged him because he never made any video game music. He plays in a rock band with some friends, and he accepted the challenge. I'm so happy with this soundtrack because I managed to compose all these different genres of music. There is some funk, there is some techno even for the disco scene in the game, and I think he will help me with the new soundtrack as well for the next game. Actually, the whole soundtrack of the first game is available on Spotify.
Ah, that's good to know.
Yep.
Cool. And the second game, will it also have like 90s vibes again?
Yes, most definitely, because it's the continue of the first game, so we might even use some of the same melodies, or at least some of the same parts.
How do you actually approach this next project given from your dev experience so far?
We learned so much from the first game, even though we didn't have so much troubles making it. We didn't have any problems, but I think we could save a lot of money if we would just plan everything better in the beginning. So I will make sure that before we start working on Dude 2, we have a better progress planned and save a lot of time. Based on the feedback we got from the players, both on social media and as reviews on Steam, we know what people liked, what we can have more of, what we shouldn't do, and even the negative reviews help a lot. Of course, the constructive ones. A lot of people were actually surprised finding this kind of old school games in 2020, and they were like, "Oh, this is what I needed in my life." And also, some of the people were, "I haven't seen any beer-themed games before," and stuff like that. A lot of people like the humor in the game, even though it's a lot of silly jokes, and there are also a lot of jokes about being indie video game, like the fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall. For example, there's a scene where you're trying to look at yourself in the mirror, and the character says there is no image in the mirror because the developers didn't have budget enough to make this.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but those jokes are great. I love that.
Thanks a lot.
It's kind of relatable,
Yeah, it is. And actually, I was I spent so many weeks making this reflection or trying to make a reflection. At some point, I was so tired of it, so I just removed all the code and just added this sentence.
Much simpler, yeah.
And it looks like people appreciate it, this kind of stupid joke.
So reflections are hard to do.
It is because everything the character does in that room should be animated from the other side, because he stands with his back to the player, and so his face is not visible, but it should be in the mirror. That basically you have to make all the animation twice with the face and with the back. So we decided to skip it. Yeah, so it's easier to have a reflection on the side, because then you can just flip the character.
But if he has to, like, if he's doing stuff, then it's harder.
Yeah, because you can't see his hands. For example, when he washes his hands, but in the mirror, you should see them. So that's why you have to make everything twice. If the mirror would be on the side, you could just flip the character and it's gonna be the same animation.
When did you actually start developing games?
I started developing Dude, Where's My Beer in 2019 when I was living in Costa Rica. And that's actually the first time I ever tried developing a game. Basically, I had too much free time because I was working part-time for a company in Norway. I wanted to use all the spare time on something creative. I was like, should I make a comic book or should I make a video game? And then I decided to make a video game, and then I was thinking, should it be action? Should it be this and that? And then I decided to go with point and click. So I was basically searching how to make point and click games, And then I met Edo Brenes, the illustrator, and then it was like more than just a hobby,
So you taught yourself how to develop games?
Yes, I used to work with animation, and also I could program a little bit because I was using ActionScript and Flash in the web design back in the day, but I never made any games. So this was fun experience.
How did you teach yourself like programming?
Well, I was lucky because the engine I used, Visual Studio, doesn't actually require you to be a programmer. You can make a game there by just adding actions, just drag and drop commands. Like if you click here, the character says this and that, but knowing programming helps a lot. You can do other stuff, you can make more advanced stuff. If I would recommend using that software if you want to make a point-and-click game and you don't exactly know how to code.
Cool, that's good to know. At the moment, you're a freelancer?
Yes.
Do you ever think about founding a game studio?
I'm not sure what the difference would be, because I'm not used making games with a lot of other stuff, a lot of other people. So I was thinking that when I'm done making Dude, Where's My Beer 2 and the game, I'm making a small game now. Like it's also beer themed game, but it's more like a running in the bar and serving beer. So I'm thinking when I'm done with those two, I will think about maybe quit developing or maybe go to the next step and actually start something bigger.
So it depends on the success of the games?
Yeah, I think so.
And this other beer game, that sounds interesting too. Is it like more like a simulator?
Yeah, you could say it. It's like there's a bar where there's a lot of beer, draft beer, and you have to see what all the clients want to drink. So you have to run around and serve the correct beer to the right people. And if you are too slow, they get disappointed and they leave and they give you a bad review. I just yesterday I posted a screenshot from the game on my Twitter, so you can check it there. It's called basically another bar game. So now I can say, yeah, I made another bar game.
That's a good one. Oh, I have to check that out. Yeah, definitely. Where do you actually get support from currently? Like you said, you're on Kickstarter, but is there something else?
No, there is nothing else.
Okay, so no publisher or something like that.
No, we have an Asian publisher who localized Dude for Chinese market, and that happened a few months after we released the game. So yeah, Whisper Games helped us with that. And besides of that, everything is just we just spend our free time on the game. But that's why I feel like social media helped us a lot, because just spreading the news about the game before we released it, showing some screenshots. It involved all the people in the game community, and I think that's why we had so many wish lists before the release, which helped us.
And beer is always good, so people love beer.
Yeah, what I think helped us a lot was an article in NRK, it's a Norwegian national newspaper, because a few weeks before the release, I sent hundreds of emails to different medias and video game blogs. So this newspaper decided to make an article about Norwegian game industry and with the focus on my game. I think that helped a lot because we sold a lot of copies in Norway.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, that always helps, definitely. So you also don't get any funding in Norway, right?
In Norway, we can apply for grants, and most of the bigger video game companies, studios, they get a lot of support from them, or at least some support. And I tried to apply a few times, but I think maybe my game is too beer related. I think that it's not prioritized because it's not made for younger kids, So maybe I can try again, but I thought that I will try to get the support from Kickstarter.
I think especially for indies, there should be some support.
Yeah, I think it's fully possible for me to get support, but I think just because it's so much focus on alcohol, maybe they decide to maybe not support that game, but I don't know. It's just what I think, because these grants are governmental, and I think maybe they have some rules.
What would you say worked pretty good in your life as a dev?
It's kind of what I told about feedback from other developers on social media. This kind of that motivated me a lot. I felt like I have some support, and if it goes wrong, I always can ask them. I started to use Twitter really late in the development, and I didn't know how it works. From day one, there was a lot of people who were showing the support and giving me advice, and they were obviously much more experienced in game development. So I felt very safe knowing that they are there. Yeah.
That's also why I love the gaming community. It's always got so many people who want to help out and have some advice. What would you say didn't work so well in your life as a dev? If there's anything.
Well, I think everything was perfect. I mean, no, I don't think there is something I could mention as negative.
Is there something like maybe a moment in your life as a developer which you always remember?
I will never forget the day I had to click the publish button on Steam, even though I knew I had to do it at some point, but I was very nervous because I was afraid there would be some technical issues or some bugs in the game which I hadn't seen. And but then it was when the first reviews started to pop up on Steam. I was so happy that I was like, finally, there are people who are playing the game. They're discussing it. There is and I got so much feedback from my friends when they read the article in the newspaper. I was getting a lot of messages, and everybody tagged me on Facebook and stuff like that. It was a lot going on, but it was super fun.
Wow, that's nice. That's cool. Yeah, I can imagine. So were you shaking while trying to click the publish button?
Yeah, and I was talking with the Steam support a few times, and they told me several times that you must click the green button because it doesn't happen automatically. Because I think a lot of people think if they put a date, it's gonna be released at that date. You actually have to go there and click the green button.
Click here.
Click here.
you said like people and other developers gave you advice while you were developing your first game. Do you now maybe have any advice for other indie devs? Maybe people who also want to start out as a developer, want to develop their first game. Is there something you want to tell them?
I would say that I meet a lot of developers, first-time developers, who have troubles finishing the games, and they spend maybe a few months or a year or two, and they feel like they are very far from finishing the game. And I think the reason could be that the project they are trying to make is maybe too ambitious, maybe too difficult to manage for yourself. So I would recommend to start with a simpler game, so at least you finish it, and then you know how all the parts of the development work, and you can, maybe your second project could be a little more ambitious.
So don't do too much in the beginning.
At least don't have very big ambitions, but some people manage it. It also depends on your skills, I guess.
Yeah, I'm really excited about your upcoming game, Dude, Where's My Beer 2, A New Hop. How do you currently feel about this project?
To be honest, I was focusing so much on the Kickstarter campaign that I actually forgot the whole game itself. So I have a lot of documents, sketches, puzzles ready, but I just need time to put everything together. That's why we need support, so Edo can start working on the illustrations and animations. I'm really looking forward to start working on it. I think it's gonna be much better game and much more fun for us also to work on it.
Cool. Yeah, I can't wait.
Thank you.
So us Open Indies definitely support you.
Thank you, Sarah, and good luck to you.
Thanks.